Right, hello, I'm back again. Sorry about that. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. OBS seemed to have a little hissy fit and crashed. It's been doing that a lot to me lately, even while I've been trying to just record videos, so I don't know what's going on with OBS. I've updated it every time it's asked for one, and it's still having crashing issues, so we'll carry on like nothing happened. Glad to see people have made their way back over to the new stream. Hello Arkaville, over on Twitch. Yeah, sorry about all of that. What's that, Chad? You tried redeeming Dancing Robot and got Boom instead. Okay, so Streamlabs is being a pain in the arse today. Whatever. In fact, it didn't complete the graphics of the redeem with it crashed. Yeah, I think... Give me a second, I'll be back in 2 seconds. My kettle's just boiled. Right, there we go. Right, so it crashed round about the 2-hour mark anyway, so I've had my bio break and grabbed my fresh cup of tea while I was restarting everything. Yeah, I think Streamlabs is having some issues communicating with OBS at the minute. It seems the only way I can get OBS to behave properly is when I run it in safe mode, which I wasn't before. I thought it'd be fine. I'm running OBS in safe mode again now, and everything seems to be fine. So we'll see what happens. What's that, Michael? You disabled Windows 11 updates on your PC because you don't trust them anymore. Yeah, I've done exactly the same thing. On my PC at least, I need to do it for my laptop, because I booted up my laptop that I used to monitor my stream chats with before, and it made me sit through like a 20-page update thing of, do you want to use this new feature? Do you want to use that new feature? It's like, no, I don't want to use any of them. Let me get away from the screen so I can just set up my laptop, please. But that is Windows in a nutshell. It is the most commonly used and most readily accessible PC operating system, and it is also one of the biggest pains in the arse. Like, I know Linux is better, but the amount of times I've seen people having compatibility problems with Linux and having to use all sorts of trickery to get around stuff, it doesn't seem worth the hassle. But yeah, we'll just carry on like nothing happened, and hopefully we won't crash again. And I have to redo the last 5 minutes of what I built. Typical. Where were we up to? We were up to there. What's that, Chad? You don't trust Windows 11 at all. Keep running 10 until I work up the nerve to make a switch to Linux. Yeah, I mean, Linux probably would be a better idea, but again, I'm not tech savvy enough to know much about it. And I have seen people have, like I said, a lot of compatibility issues with various things on Linux, because not a lot of stuff is developed with it in mind. If I knew more about that side of things, I might do it, but at the minute I'm just suffering with PCs. I used to be a big fan of Apple computers years ago when I was more into making and producing music and stuff, and then Apple went completely down the toilet as well. And like, it's not like I'm any great fan of Steve Jobs or any of his business practices or ethics or any of that nonsense, but the second he died and the vultures got their claws into Apple, it just got even worse. And then I abandoned that platform entirely. What's that? Win Aero Tweaker is a good program for disabling updates. I will have to bear that in mind, Michael. Thank you for the tip. Because, oh yeah, I need to go get more steel. Yeah, because there are some days where I boot up my computer on my laptop and it just seems like absolutely everything in the world all needs an update, and then they all get updated and they all run worse. I was under the assumption that updates are meant to improve things, not to make them get worse. Like OBS at the minute, every time I boot up OBS it seems to have another update and it doesn't seem to have fixed any of the issues. All it seems to have done is slightly redesign the UI a little bit. But since the last update, OBS has had massive issues trying to handle multiple graphics inputs unless I run it in safe mode, and I don't know why. I have searched extensively on the internet for an answer and I have not come up with one yet. What's that, Chad? You'll have to run a virtual machine to use some programs that don't have a good Linux version, or as a main OS. Refused to run 11. Yeah, unfortunately the PC I got came with 11, and there wasn't much I could do about it. Right. Will you let me tab out of this screen and open my screenshots without crashing again, please? Because I need to get that screenshot open. Right, that seems to have opened without dying or killing the computer. There we go. Stop putting them over there. That is what keeps killing the computer. Yeah, I noticed the crashing issues seem to start when I've got multiple images. Stop spawning on that screen. Hold it, it's over here. The issues seem to start with OBS crashing when I've got multiple windows open on my primary screen. The one I'm actually capturing the game image from. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why. But anyway, I've got those screenshots open. Nothing seems to have crashed. We will carry on. Right, so that is going to be about 2 blocks high from the look of it. Yeah, that looks about right. There's going to be a rotor sitting in there at that level, which means I need the connector there, which means that needs to be too high of them, I think. So 1, 2, that can go there. That could go in the middle. For a minute. Actually, that'll be a pain in the ass to grind out. Let's... That was the wrong block anyway. I'm stuck. Don't get stuck in the hole. Oh, crap. Ugh, I'm now stuck in here. There we go. Right, let's not fall into that death trap again. Yeah, Chad, that's what I think it is. I think OBS is having issues at the moment, not being able to figure out which window is which. Because I've got it set up to directly capture the game itself, rather than just capture the whole monitor. And I think it's getting a bit confused when there's multiple windows open on that monitor, as well as the main game that it's capturing from. It was, like I said, it wasn't an issue until about a week or two ago. Yeah, and now the only way I seem to be able to get OBS to work properly is by running it running it in safe mode. It just seems to kick off all the time now. Because it was doing it last week when I was trying to stream Elite Dangerous. It just kept crashing for the first 20 minutes. Like every like 20 minutes or so, it just catastrophically crashed. I have to restart the computer. Ran OBS in safe mode and then streamed for 4 hours with no issue. So it seems like it's an OBS problem. Oh, hey, Golden Finch. Could be I might be blissfully unaware, but I really run into problems and use PC for everything: gaming, music production, video stuff, graphics. I also, yeah, I mean, I run Windows 11. I've got Ableton Live on my computer for doing music stuff. I've got Blender for doing 3D modeling stuff. I've got loads of things that all work fine with no crashing issues. The second I start playing with OBS lately, and the whole thing just crashes and locked up. Like when my computer crashed before, the entire thing locked up, all screens went black, all sound went out. The computer was still running, and I couldn't even Control-Alt-Delete my way to the task manager. I literally had to hard restart the computer, which I don't like doing. And I'm in the hole again. Right, well, grab a bunch of them while I'm here, and we get out of the pit. Ugh, I'm just going to have to grind them back out. Oh, it would help if I actually put the right blocks in any of them. They're all that corner triangle piece, so they can all just go anyway. Right, let's do the internals of that before I build any more of that armour up. Oh, and let's eat some food so I don't starve to death. There was the Golden Finch. That's fair. You don't stream. Might be where the blissful ignorance comes from. Yeah, like I said, I think it's an OBS issue. It wasn't a problem until about a week or two ago, when there was some random update for OBS. I said, yeah, whatever, click OK, update, whatever. And then now it has issues handling multiple things. I think, because I also run all the Streamlabs overlays into OBS as well. I think that's having an effect too. And crashing. In fact, while I wait for those parts to get made, what's OBS doing right now? If I redeem one of my own things. Well, that's doing nothing. Okay. Oh, Streamlabs, you are such a pain. Why do you never seem to work properly? Oh yeah, that's the plan that way. Okay, interesting. Some of my overlays don't seem to be working. Has anyone else had their Steam newsfeed stop working? I did actually have a little bit of an issue with that with that the other day. Yeah. Okay, Streamlabs just not playing today, are you? Oh well, whatever. Point noted, redeems will take your points without delivering the sound and graphics. Yeah, it's... Again, it seems to be an OBS issue. My overlays... should be working don't appear to be, so... Okay. My little engineer's working. It just seems to be the Streamlabs overlays that are broken. Okay, whatever. I'm getting closer and closer to binning Streamlabs off. It just seems to be causing issues at the moment. As fun as it is. Alright, we'll weld this up. Another 2 in there. That is not at all what I wanted to build. That in the middle, you know what, just leave it there. And we'll have... where is it? There it is. We'll have that there. Of course, I'm always 1 motor short, apparently. Cool, there we go. That's the part for that. Yeah, I think I need to do a bit more internet sleuthing and find out what's going on with OBS now. What's it? I'd likely haven't given it much thought yet, but what form do you think you'll build the mech excavator? Pure vertical or leveraged? I haven't decided yet. I was pondering the idea of trying to make like an angled lift, like a rail that's got a kind of angle like that ramp there, but with a flat platform that traverses it up level. Might be a bit of a stupid idea. Or maybe just a vertical one, 'cause I was thinking of putting one on that cliff just there. I think it's that one anyway. Or it might be that bit there. I actually think it's that bit there. Because I was looking at all the various ridges the other day to try and figure out where the best place to build one would be. And yeah, I'm either thinking something angled, but I might not have the room for that, or something that just goes straight up. Although I think trying to do it with pistons, I might not be able to get the height on it. So I might have to do some stupid thing with suspension blocks, like on the space elevator builds that you see, that you use suspension blocks to grip like a main pillar and raise the platform up that way. Right, so that's going to be that, and then we will finally have an advanced rotor on there, and then that will be the top section. And that will have the actual gun on it. Right. So that will be then too high. So that can protect that. We'll have a bit of armour in there. Extra connection points and extra physical support. And we'll build the head on top of that. That'll stick up a little bit further. Then we can arm around that and close the gap up a little bit. Cool. Right. Got an idea. What's that? Something like an escalator? Yeah, something. Maybe something like that, like a flat platform that rides up a slope. like that big lift in the that scene in Akira where the general goes to see the remains of, or what remains of Akira in that containment facility, and it's got the big lift that comes down at an angle. That image has always stuck in my head since I was a kid, when I first saw Akira. So I'm thinking maybe something like that, but again, it's gonna... scaling it might be an issue. To build something that would fit this dude and work on that kind of angle would need to come out pretty far from that cliff, so it might not be practical. But I will definitely have a little look into it, because that's kind of what I want to do. That is going in there. Yeah, because I want to build something that the... You know what? I'm just going to delete that. I'll replace it in a second. Yeah, because I want to build a lift that's big enough for this guy to comfortably just roll into without any issues. Oh, I can shove the skiff with my face, can I? Can't push a dead spider out of the way. And shove the skiff with my face. Makes total sense. Yeah, I need to look into what's going on with Streamlabs and OBS, because they keep having arguments and keep crashing my game. My computer. It's not just like OBS just crashes and says no and quits. It, like, when it does it, it crashes the entire computer and I have to restart the entire thing, which ain't great. That is also why I run my chat off my laptop instead. Not practical sounds like that'd be the exact... Yeah, I mean, I suppose so, yeah. Not being technically interesting, but not very practical is kind of my thing, so... Yeah, I probably will end up building that. And it does totally fit my vibe of just building stupid stuff for the sake of building stupid stuff. I've had those comments on a few videos in the past, like people have complained, oh, it's not practical design, why would you use a mech? And it's just like, I know it's not practical. I'm fully aware that it's not practical, but it's more interesting than just building yet another spaceship. Or another rover. Why wouldn't you build something wholly impractical and stupid just because you can? Right, now I'll add that, and tubes, need tubes. Ah, there we go. Groovy. Oh, hey Outcast, how are you doing? What's that, Golden Finch? It's a creative sandbox game, screw that noise. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of always my argument when people complain. Or leave little snidey comments like, oh, it's not practical, why would you do something like that? It's like, because it's a game and it's fun. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you build something completely over-engineered and elaborate just for the sake of it? It's kind of what the game's about. Kind of like someone jumping into a Minecraft stream or a Minecraft server going, oh, this game's not realistic. Like, yeah, I know. Right, so that's going to be that. Oh yeah, I need to pull those tubes in there before I forget. Right, we've nearly got this tail done. It's only taken me 2 hours. Hyper efficiency versus making it fun and cool. Yeah, I mean, you can make things hyper efficient, but where's the fun? I mean, it's not like I don't try and make things efficient in the context of what I build. But, yeah, I don't get why you wouldn't try and just build stupid stuff for the sake of building stupid stuff. Right, so this is going to have a little bit of a rim around the edge. Which is then going to be that. And that. Yeah. That looks right. And then the triangle piece in there. Yeah, wonderful. Right. Cool. Sweet. So, down there, just need to stick a couple of cubes. Yeah, cool. Cube, triangle bit, cube, triangle bit. Little slopes, there we go. I'm gonna have to get underneath to reach that block that I've blocked in a little bit. Yep. Oh, there's two of them actually. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Boy, I wish we had area welders in Space Engineers 1. They are so much fun in Space Engineers 2. They make things so easy. And also like Golden Finch, it's folks like you, EC, Aya, Black Armor, and forgot his name, the guy who made the Command & Conquer StarCraft mechanicals that made me fall in love. Oh, do you mean, Apologies? Because Apologies does all sorts of StarCraft stuff, I think. You mean like the big transforming ship walker mech thing that you built a while back? And thank you. Yeah, Apologies are sound. I've chatted to him a few times. He did a quick little video a while back. He took one of my old mech designs and built the beginnings of a robot building machine with it to basically construct one of my vanilla mechs with one of his crazy building machines that he's known for doing. It was quite cool. He had to make a few little modifications to my mech design to get it to work with his welding projection system. But yeah, Apologies is a cool dude. He makes some really cool stuff. Nope, built a block somewhere random. Alright, Ruby. But yeah, thanks for saying that, Golden Finch. Yeah, like I said, I don't just like to play this game normally, because that's not the side of this game that appeals to me. And there's, like I said before, there's very few games I know of that have this kind of building system in it that's as mechanical, because there's loads of survival crafting games I've played over the years. They're one of my favourite kinds of games to play, but a lot of them it's just architectural. You're just building bases. Maybe some of them will let you build like traps for catching animals and things, but they're still just a pre-built mechanic that you essentially just spawn into the game by adding the required components. Whereas SE, because its block building is tied into the physics engine, you can do just all sorts of crazy stuff that just aren't possible in a lot of other games. Like, I got into playing SE off the back of playing things like Minecraft and Ark Survival and stuff like that. I just thought, oh, it's another survival game. This one's got a space theme, it's a block builder, I can build stuff, that all sounds cool. And then, when looking for tutorials on how to do stuff, I came across Black Armor's videos. What was I think the first one I saw was one of his Voltron videos. And then my entire view of the game dramatically changed almost instantly. And then I thought, no, this isn't a block building game, this is a robot building game. I need to learn how to build robots, because that is way cooler. Oh, what's that? Seeing the siege tank deploying space engines. Yeah, that was a really cool build. Outcast, have you ever tried Starship Evo? It lets you build mechs easily. I have not. I didn't know that you could do mech building in Starship Evo. I might have to have a look into that. I've heard of it. I've seen it come up on my Steam store occasionally when it's been on offer or it's being promoted or whatever. But I've never actually looked into it too far. But yeah, if there's a mech building component to that, I'll definitely have to give that a look. Right, so I want to... What do I do here? I want it to actually have a little bit of breathing room, but a little bit more protection. So, in this gap, we will do what's that, Godfinch? You first got introduced to Imperion and really want to... Sorry, you first got introduced to Imperion and really want to love playing Space Engineers. I do love playing Space Engineers. It's one of my favourite games. Yeah, I've seen Imperion as well. I've never quite appealed to me as much as Space Engineers has. So I've never really looked into it too far, but also going back to the issue of what I was saying earlier of having no bloody spare disk space at the moment makes it a bit tricky trying to explore new games at the moment, because if I want to get a new game I have to delete something, and all the games I have at the moment on my computer is generally because I make content out of them, and I don't really want to delete the stuff that I'm using to make content. Yeah, external hard drive or something is definitely something to look into next. Right, so that is the main bit of the tail done. We just need to do the gun section. What's that, Outcast? I've not made one yet, but I've seen some crazy things like others have done, plus the mixed block sizes let you do some crazy stuff. Okay, I will have to have a look at Starship Evo then, and see what that's like. Yeah, like I said, I've seen it come up occasionally on my Steam store and that, but I've never really looked into it too far. Definitely have to armour up those rotors at some stage. See if I can figure out a way of covering them a little bit. Right, so gun section. I didn't actually take any screenshots of your interiors, so we are just going to have to make this up. Did, however, get some screenshots of the exterior, so at least I've got an idea of what it looks like on the outside. Okay, right. So first things first, it's going to be a conveyor converter. Of course, I'm missing the motors. Oh, make some more bits. What's that, Outcast? As a warning, it's still early alpha, but the dev has daily updates as they keep working on it. Oh, that's fair enough. I mean, plenty of games I've played over the years that have started in alpha or beta or whatever kind of state. I'm quite happy to acknowledge and live with that. It's like with SE2, all the problems I've got with Space Engineer 2 at the moment are essentially because it is still being built. And a lot of the systems they've put in it are kind of sort of half placeholder while they figure out exactly what they're doing with it. So yeah, game being an alpha or beta doesn't really bother me. I understand the consequences that come with playing a game that's still not actually finished yet. What's that, Chad? You have had enough time keeping up with all the SE channels you follow. Don't think you want to get another game associated. Yeah, that is another problem as well. There's a lot of content creators for a lot of different games. Oh, right, that's something I need to do. I've just noticed. We've got a bit of weight going on here now, so as you can see, it's starting to wiggle and lean over a little bit. So let's stop that collapsing. Let's put that all back to 0. No! Yeah, stupid rotors. I hate the way they do that. Right, there we go. Thank you. Bloody rotor limits. Don't lean the wrong way. Thank you very much. Back at 0. Good. Right, we're going to lock you at 0 for now. We'll come back to that when we've done the rest of the tail. What's that, Golden Finch? I think that's why you're looking forward to SE2. The ultimate goal they have is exactly what I hope for a creative game to be. NPC-related content, living worlds, good physics. Yeah, SE2's shaping up to be quite good. And the dev team for SE2 seem to be quite open to public feedback and things like that. Like the other week, everyone was moaning that the Gatling guns didn't sound Gatling gunny enough and not modern enough, and literally like 2 days later they updated the sound effects. What's that, Chad? I used to watch a lot of City Skylines content, but it got kind of repetitive, and then you found SE, all different styles of playing. Yeah, that's like, again, that's why I like a lack of Burt. Yeah, everyone was complaining about the lack of Burt. Yeah, Chad, that's one of the things I like about SE, is everyone plays it differently. Like I do mech stuff, Engineered Coffee does like mostly mechanical stuff of all kinds of varieties, not just like the mech stuff that I do. You got all kinds. There's another guy I follow called Saphirian Crate. He does all kinds of train-related stuff in Space Engineers. He's actually got a train-themed survival series he's been doing for a while, where he's just basically building a great big train line and living on his train. It's quite cool. Yeah, so there's all different styles. If you just want multiplayer content and screwing around, there's all of Splitsy stuff. If you want mechanical stuff, there's me and Engineered Coffee. Yeah, that's what I like about SE. There's a content creator for pretty much most of the styles of gameplay you can do in this game. Snowpiercer in space. Kind of. He's I can't remember what planet he's on, but he's basically doing a survival series where he's just building a massive train line and living on a train and traveling around the environment. via tracks. It's a cool series. What's that? You like handles for train stuff, guys? I don't think I'm familiar with handles. I'll have to have a look. Right, so try and work out the scale of this thing from the photograph that I've got. Right, so that is going to be level with that. So that's going to be 2 blocks out with that little extra layer on the outside. 1, 2. One of them. Safirin hasn't posted in a while. Hope he's doing okay. His world was having a fair bit of... yeah, I mean, that is an issue with doing crazy train-related stuff. You will end up having sim speed issues because of the sheer amount of grids that are knocking around. It's why I try and keep my mech building worlds like this a little bit more simpler these days, because once you've got the game doing all those physics calculations of all these separate subgrids, and then you add in the AI blocks as well, unless you've got an absolute top-of-the-range computer, your sim speed is going to suffer. It's kind of why I had to bin off the Mech Yard Survival series, because the sim speed in that save file had plummeted to the point where the character sprinting animation literally just looked like a steady jog. It had gotten that slow that me sprinting looked like that, just casually jogging around, and it was so painful to try and play. Right, so that's gonna be that, that's gonna be that, that's gonna be that. That will be triangle piece, yep, that lines up. Oh, there we go. Right, cool. That's the front. So 1, 2, and then half block. Golden Finch, since you've been out of the loop for a bit, what are you building? I am messing around with a big old spider tank. Let's land the skiff out of the way for a second. I finished doing the basic walk cycle last week. What's the battery? Ooh, hang on. Yeah. Speaking of things running out of power, let's go put this back on charge for a second. It's running low, it's on 14%. We'll just build some platforms to get up to that tail. That can go on there. I'm basically building a big old spider tank that is vaguely inspired by the HAW-206 from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Except this one, I've given it 6 legs instead of 4, because more legs is more better. And then we've got the hanging, the new suspended cockpit in here. I've got a door there to access it from underneath. I've got a event controller to open and close the door automatically when we get in and out of the seat. And yeah, the walk cycle is mostly set up now. It still needs a few little tweaks here and there. I'm thinking of trying to work out how to do a variable speed system. Oh, I need to move those thrusters on the back. Oh, spiders. Hello. Yeah, I'm thinking of trying to work out how to make a variable, like, walk speed system. Yeah, those thrusters definitely need movement. They're dusting off those blocks now. Yeah, I'll move them in a bit. What's that, Chad? You try to counter having too many grids by having several connected as one larger grid, and then you run into grid size restrictions. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue sometimes. Outcast 01, Tachikoma Big Brother. Yeah, I mean... Ooh, let me take that picture down. In the series, the HAW is made by Kenbishi Robotics, which is the same company that built the Tachikoma, so it kind of is a Big Brother. It uses the same AI, the little blobby AI targeting cameras, like the little bulbous eye pod thing, which are a staple of all of Kenbishi's robotic designs. Annoyingly, I've not been able to find a great way of replicating them in Space Engineers. All the ways that I could do it are either way too big or way too small and look kind of derpy. I did find one quite nice way of doing them. That requires a couple of mods to build. I've not found a decent way of replicating those camera pods in a vanilla fashion. Yeah, not many round things in SE. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. I mean, I have been tinkering with the idea of one of the ideas I've been tinkering around with is I need to learn more about Blender modeling at some stage, and then modding. I basically want to take two of these, glue them together into one block model in Blender or something like that, and then turn it into a camera, and then basically create my own little modded camera pods, because they look perfect. They're a little bit small for what I'd usually build with, but the little iPod on that versus that thing, if I paint it a nice plain white colour, it's almost perfect for what I want it for. So I'm thinking of trying to make a modded camera out of that at some stage. What's that, Chad? For that camera pod, I wonder if someone could take the dish antenna, reverse the pointing point and paint in camera lenses on the outside of the curve. That's kind of a cool idea. Yeah, I know enough about modding to make little tweaks to pre-existing things, but I don't know enough yet to create my own blocks from scratch. But I think that little camera project is one of the things I'm going to try and use to learn that aspect of the game. Enlarge and reskin the OE camera. Yeah, would do. I really like the shape of those two little blocks though. And they've got all those little, like, sort of inlaid dots on them that look very, very similar to the designs on the camera pods in Ghost in the Shell. Nearly high enough. things you have to do when you don't have a jetpack. There we go. Cool. Right. Obviously, screwed the jump up. There we go. Cool. Right. Let's get that armor color again. Where are we? We need one more flat section. One more curved section. That needs a curved section. Need to build that side out a bit. That and triangle, that and another triangle. There we go. What's that, Chad? You need two versions of the half sphere. One that mounts like it does at the joint between the two blocks, and one that mounts in the center of a single block. Yeah, it would be good to have that. At the moment, I just want to have one that is centrally placed, essentially, like I was saying before, something that could be used as like a top piece for a cylindrical column. Because it annoys me that we've got this lovely round little tube, but there's nothing really round that fits on the end of it. Because that is the perfect size, it's just completely the wrong orientation. And also, it would be quite fun if we had a proper half block rather than the quarter block that we've got now. You could stick the two half blocks together, make a little sphere, and you could make some interesting ammunition, I think. Like a great big space shotgun with them. Or you could use them as just a weird little marble physics object to make a Rube Goldberg machine with it. That's that. Oh, we just need to do this edge here. Keen, pay attention, there's a growing list of blocks to add to future updates. Yeah, I've got a whole shopping list of like feedback tickets that I need to make at some point about blocks that I feel are missing from the list. In particular, I really want a cross section of these reinforced blocks. So we've got a corner, we've got a T-block, we've got the straight block, but we've got no four-way connection. And I very, 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 very rarely need to use this thing, the sim speed hog that it is. Whereas I quite often find myself needing a cross section, because we've got... Oh no, we don't have a cross section of the small ones, do we? Yeah, I think we could do with the cross section of the small tubes as well, because I'm sure we have got in larger sizes. Oh yeah, we've got a cross. We've got a pipe. We've got a pipe cross, and it annoys me that we don't have the conveyor crosses. It also annoys me that we don't have small grid pipe. I really want to see these in small grid. That bugs me. I feel that small grid blocks don't get enough love or appreciation. It always ends up being, here's a load of cool new large grid blocks, and we made a couple of small grid ones because we felt like it. Whereas I always want more small grid blocks. I build mostly in small grid a lot of the time. Oh, reference pick. Oh, thank you. I forgot about that. Thank you. I'll get rid of that. What's that? Yeah, I've seen there's an AQD mod for that. And I do like a lot of the AQD mods. I've got a few of them myself. But it's one of those things I think it should just be in the game. It's not that ridiculous of a thing to be in the game, I don't think. To just have the same pipe model just scaled down to small size. Like, literally, I wouldn't care if they literally just took that model and scaled it down. They don't even need to build new models, just shrink them and make them that size for us. Because I would love to have those pipes in small grid, so I could have all sorts of tubes and things sticking out of my mechs. Not even necessarily in an actual functional way. It'd be nice to just have them as a greebling option. Right, that is all. That is mostly done. I'll try and get under there and armour that up a bit, but I'll do that later. I want to get this gun built. So that is that. That's one block high. Then the rest of the shape of that is. Yeah, pipes in the small grid would be nice. Again, it's one of those little oversights that I think they could do with adding to the game. Like my general rule, or what I consider should be the general rule, is if you're going to add a new block in large grid, please just make small grid variants as well. Not that hard, and a lot of the time you can just scale the large grid model down, and I don't think people would really care that much. I think they'd just like to have the functionality of those blocks in small grid. I mean, obviously some of them are a bit daft to have, but when it comes to just like the decorative and armor blocks and things, yeah, give us small grid versions. Small grid versions of everything. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that. Right, so that's going to go there. That looks like it's 3 blocks high. That's 1, 2. That will be 3. That will actually be 4 blocks high, because we are doing. Oh yeah, I see what we're doing there. Find the right angle, that's the one. That'll go up like that. That'll go up like that. That will slot into there, and we basically do that on every side. Cool, that's straightforward enough. That can go up to there. That can be a pointy bit at the top. And that should all join up nicely. Just a plain storm. I think it's just a plain storm. I'm not getting any heat warnings, and I'm not getting smacked in the face. I think it's just high winds. There's no debris flying about. for a change, which is nice. Ow. Right. How's that skiff doing for power? Just refill on a little bit of health. Where's the skiff up to? %. Cool. That charge is nice and quick. Golden Finch, what you're saying? Who knows what they will bring to SE2? I mean, it's awesome. SE1 is still getting so much love, but unless they will migrate it to SE2, I doubt they will add it to SE1. Yeah, well, everything does equal time, obviously. But I mean, they have got 2 separate development teams for SE1 and 2. But I believe the SE1 dev team is slightly smaller than SE2, as they're trying to get a lot out the door for space engineers too. So they have got limited time and resources to prioritise what they want to do with SE1. What's that? You feel like a lot of what's being done for SE1 right now is testing ideas for SE2? Yeah, I'd say there's definitely an element of that. Because I mean, SE1 is V-Rage 2, SE2 is V-Rage 3, so it's essentially a similar engine that works in similar ways, and yeah, they're still building all the basic architecture for V-Rage 3. It's still an ongoing process. So yeah, I do get the impression SE1 is being used as a bit of a test bed for some of the ideas, but I'm cool with that. It means they're trying out new things with Space Engineers 1, and then trying to improve upon them with SE2's engine, which I'm more than happy with. Like the new things they're trying out with the rotors and rotors and mechanical blocks and stuff in SE2, I really like that. I'm just waiting for the actual functionality of the mechanical blocks to catch up a bit, because they're not quite what they are in SE1 yet. The pistons in SE2 are really good. They're pretty much nailed down, but the rotors need a lot more love, and the hinges don't even exist yet. That's entirely the wrong block I've just built there. Find the right button eventually. There we go. Right, cool. Right, so that's going to go that high, and then we've got the dome on top. The cannon is going to be about in line with this section here. Now, with that gun, yeah, you know what, we'll just keep it simple for now. Right, so, more conveyors. Let's get the conveyor system in for the weapon, or this cannon. That's going to go up to there. It's going to be in line with that, so we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. That can then be a corner block, or corner conveyor. 1, 2, 3. That can also be a corner conveyor, and then have I got guns on the toolbar? No. Yeah, and then we're going to have an assault cannon in that gap. That's the correct way around. Sweet. What's that? Just keep spinning the block for 5 minutes like Rev does. Yeah. The contextual block placement gets a bit confusing sometimes. If you're sat on a slightly weird angle, pressing the button you think is the right button sometimes doesn't do the thing you think it does. Golden Finch, I hope they will also improve subgrid functionality by making them projectable, as in making... yes, they have said they want to try and make subgrids like a printable thing, which I am more than happy about. But yeah, obviously the mechanical blocks need a bit more work. Those rotors need a lot more work. They need some bloody limits for a start. Let me do the gun last. Yeah, I really like the new direct control system in SE2. I think that's going to have some very interesting uses once all the subgrid mechanics are worked out properly. Because at the moment, the direct control system controls everything on the grid. You can't separate out individual functionality yet, but that will come with time. What's that chat? Since they've said they aren't making a copy of SE1, I don't see them making something for SE1. Only for having. No, I don't think they're doing that. I think it's more like, rather than like building functional blocks in SE1 and then adding an SE2 version, I think they're more testing out like the underlying like gameplay mechanics. Like we've just seen with the recent sneak peek for the next SE1 update, they're adding like basic NPCs into the game. And things like with the Apex update that added the new environmental damage and all that kind of stuff. They released that, and then hot off the heels of that, they announced environmental systems for Space Engineers 2, which they have just implemented. So I think it's more like they're testing out game mechanics than actual like functional blocks and shit, things like that. What do I need? Oh yeah, I was getting... Did I grab all those parts? I did grab all those parts. There we go. Oh, let's actually walk around here rather than run. Probably less likely to fall off. That needs all kinds of bits. Right, you've got a cannon. Awesome. It's just welding up the rest of, building up the rest of that. Gun turret now. Cool. I need to place a camera and armor up that a little bit, but that's not too bad. One, two. Oh, can't quite reach the top of that, obviously. Just a little bit too low. 1, 2, 3. That's them. that will have that, and get it to spin the right way, thank you. Eight. Yeah, that'll do. Yep, that'll go there, lovely. Definitely need to go up to space at some point and get some uranium so I can run reactors up here. That's the wrong block. And that's the wrong block. Yeah, I want to build some little tiny robots that just wander about, but trying to do them with batteries is a bit of a pain. Because the small grid batteries aren't really enough to sustain a single thruster that drives the warp controls for very long. Yeah, that all looked about right. Sweet. What's that, Goldfinch? Do you think it will? Do you think its plausible control of rotor and hinge movement will be possible through WASD? Possibly. I mean, with all the stuff they're doing with space engineers, I don't think that's out of the realms of possibility. I mean, with the current basic direct control system they've got at the moment, it's left and right mouse click. I don't see why they couldn't add in functionality for the keyboard controls as well. In fact, I'm sure one of the devs I was chatting to mentioned that that was an idea they were toying with, but don't quote me on that. What's that nice little umbrella on the skiff? Yeah, thanks, man. It was kind of born out of necessity. I kept getting radiation sickness while I was up here, because I was just completely exposed, so I had to build a little roof on the top to kind of hide out the sun a bit, but also have enough space to be able to jump on and off the thing again, because trying to jump through this little gap here between the floor and the ceiling there is tricky. So yeah, I gave it a little awning at the back. Right, what do we need to do next? We need to not tip the ship the wrong way, fly the correct way, thank you. Right, what are we doing here? What's going on here? Ah, well, I've just noticed that old design. I've used some other I reckon that's fine, I can get around that. I've used some modded blocks on the other version of this that I've built, well, the proper HAW that I've built. So they can go there. That is actually completely the wrong block, and I don't know why I put that there. Ooh. There we go. It's that block that I want there. So we can continue with this vaguely round shape. Get a bit closer, get the back end in. There we go. Lovely. Twenty bits for the corner. Oh, already done one that side. That's cool. Groovy. Right, this thing's starting to take shape finally. Yeah, that's looking much better. That's very scorpion-y now. It's going to have a hell of a lot of weight on his back end though, so... we'll have to have a look at what his centre of mass is doing in a minute. Yeah, probably have to move a bunch of stuff up the front end of the mech to counterbalance that a little bit. Right, so now we can do... yeah, we can do the little dome at the top. What is that? That is... one of them. Oh yeah, it's basically just the round shape I was using for the other sections, isn't it? So it's that, then that. That, and then that, and then we repeat that pattern the other way. So that one, 1, 2, 3 blocks across, and then perfect. Sweet. That's what we want. That needs me to build that first and find the right angle. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Wicked. Right, this thing is almost done. Or rather, the tail is almost done. We'll be able to get setting it up and testing it out in a minute. Or soonish. What are we on? We're on 9 o'clock, so I've only got about an hour left for this evening, so hopefully we should have some time to do that. That's the wrong thing. Typical. There we go, that's what we want. That one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. Wonderful. Get in a little bit closer. There we go. Oop, that's been crashing into that a little bit. In fact, you know what? I should take that back out. It is in the way now. And we run out of steel. That was nearly 400 steel plates I had in my pocket before. Conserve your power for a second. Have we got much steel left? No, we have not. Let's make another 1,000 of it. In fact, what's the iron situation like at the minute? Running... Oh, running desperately low. Let's go get them. Let's go run the mining rig then for a minute. Oh, there's still a few broken bits on it from last week that I didn't fix, I think. When I smacked it into a ramp. Oh yeah, those armor plates, I need to repair them from last week. Ah! You can see that damage. Oh, I don't think I saw that damage back there. This is busted up on here, is there? That needs covering. Anyway, right, I need to go and mine some more iron, because we have basically run out of it again. Right, where were we up to with digging this hole? Always out of iron. What's that, Chad? The Skiff Sunshade. Yeah, the Skiff Sunshade has helped quite a bit. It's made it less dangerous operating in the harsh radioactive sun. Ooh, why have I appeared over there? And let's learn our lesson from last week and put the handbrake on. Because I didn't put the handbrake on last week and it rolled down a hill and smashed itself to pieces. Or kind of smashed itself to pieces. Where's the iron? The iron is mostly under there now. Ooh, actually, let's try and get rid of this doom voxel that's building up in the middle. Take down the baby gator for a second. Right, where's my drilling projector? There it is. So I can get that spike roughly in the middle of there. We need to change those controls around a bit. Let's launch the drone and see if he can take that out for us. Hopefully he'll get rid of that. Or he'll just grind himself on it. Okay, well at least he got rid of it for us. Definitely a few more doom spikes in there I need to carve out. Right, you're just digging rock now. Let's call you back again. Then we'll move the rig. Oh, not that clangy today when you're landing. That's not bad. Right, let's also try and get that doom spike there. Ooh, I might need to come forward slightly. Try that. Well, can't get the right angle with the bloody camera. There we go, that'll have to do. There we go. Oh, oh, you're doing weird stuff. There you go. Cool, right, that's another horrible little doom spike done. Meteor storm inbound. Please don't wreck any more of my stuff. You put oh. Yeah, that's another issue with the giant ramp, is the meteor storms. I had lots and lots of holes in the ramp last week. So I either need to set up a load of guns around those ramps to deal with the incoming meteors, or I just need to build a single lift and have that surrounded by guns so it can protect itself. Right, yeah, let's make it, we'll reverse a little bit and dig out that section there. There's an unknown signal dropping in there. I'm not actually that far away. I might take the skiff and go and check that out in a second. I need to watch this dude first, make sure he doesn't mess anything up. There we go, he's getting to the iron now. Wonderful. There we go, that's what we like to see. All that unnecessary stones getting dumped out. What's that, Chad? If you built guns along the side walls of the ramp, wouldn't that make them real guns? Technically, yes, I suppose. But, like, in name only. Yeah. Nice one, Chad. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking more of trying to build a lift system, because the ramp was an interesting stopgap, but I have to build a heck of a lot of defences around it to keep it protected. Whereas if I had a lift, like the sort of diameter of one of these buildings that just went straight up a cliff face, that'd be a lot easier to manage, I think. Right, you are more or less pummeling through rock again, so let's call you back in. That should give us a decent little chunk of iron for now. Cool. There we go. $50 tons of iron almost. That will definitely do. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Before I go anywhere, I've got to put the baby gates back because I don't trust the mechs not to be stupid. Oh, I'm stuck on the wheel of that, that's what I'm getting in the way. Yeah, and then that should. Oh, we've run out of steel. Yeah, that'll do. That should trigger their collision avoidance so they don't crash into anything. Yeah, you really don't like waypoint 7, do you? You need to change that. You don't crash into the lamp. Oh, there's an armor plate up there. They got damaged as well. Wow, I really did do a number on this thing last week. Amazed it's still in one piece. Right, there we go. Oh, that was the wrong button. Right, we should have steel again now. What's that? To be fair, the baby gates are realistic. Just take a look at the little robotic vacuum cleaners. Yeah, if I had one of those in my house, I think my cats would have an absolute fit. I don't think they'd like them. Steel. There we go, it's making steel plates again. Lovely. Bay gate. Yeah, I know what you meant, Golden Finch. I figured it was just a typo. Right, let's get back end of this finished off. Because I would like to try and set up the turret controllers as well. And give it a little bit of a test. And we got the pointy bits for those gaps, pointy bit for that gap, and then corner block for that gap. Lovely. What do we got then? So I need not that one, I need that. And then some more little pointy bits. I know they got proper names, but I like using the stupid ones. Ah, damn it, it needs to build that inside. Yeah, close enough to remove it without falling off. There we go, lovely. What we're doing, there we go. Right, that can go there. Get all of them welded. And I was already doing that side, and I should go to a few blocks. Wicked. Yeah, I still don't know what I'm going to do with the arm guns, because they're not going to fit where I want to put them realistically. So, yeah, I need to come up with a better plan for them. I think that'll be a next week problem. Right, that is the dome done. Now I just want to make a little bit of a barrel to cover that gun. What's that gun, Pinch? We have 2 cats along with a robovac. Our pirate take them more. Okay, wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, my cats hate the standard Hoover that I've got. If I had a robotic one that roamed the house, I think they just attack it constantly. Either that or they just live in permanent fear because they're idiots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's about right. But actually, I want to put. There's the front end. I want to put a little bit more detail on that. So. That can come out. That can come out. Pop that onto the side of that. That will go up and over the top like so. That will do that. We'll have one of them on the end, because yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Lack of connection point there. Take that one out, replace it. That one, we'll just have a weird little lip on the front there, I don't really care. Where's it gone? There we go. Then we can have a connection point there for that, so that'll do. That's going to go under there like that. What's that? Cats being idiots won't get an argument from me. Yeah, as much as I love cats, they can be absolutely stupid. No matter how many times you tell them to not be stupid, they don't listen. Like my smallest cat. She is a very avid hunter and loves catching mice. And then, without fail, every single time, the first thing she does is run up to my bedroom and try to devour said mouse on my bed. And no matter how many times I tell her off for doing that, she still insists on doing it every single time. Don't know why she always chooses my room to do it, but yeah. If he catches a small animal, sod's law, she's going to take it up to my room to try and deal with it, and then I then have to deal with the aftermath. Or I just chase her out of the room and go and tell her to eat it somewhere else. Ruby. Right, that is, yeah, that's more or less the barrel. Just need to weld those bits up. Obviously I can't find the welding point for that from up there, and that is too high. Alright, let's go a little bit lower, a bit under there, and then that is basically it done. Last thing we need to do is plonk a camera, grab that colour, plonk a camera there so we can target with the damn thing. Ah, of course I need some computers, why wouldn't I? Go, grab some computers. Cool. Right, I just need to quickly name a few bits. So we had tail rotor 1. In fact, I'm going to name them the other way around. That can be tail rotor 1, and we will take the limits off that. -361 to make it unlimited there, and 361 to make it unlimited there. That can be hinge number 1, because they're the ones I'm going to be primarily operating. That can be number 2, and that can be number 2. That can be, in fact, do the other way around. camera tail. I've got a capital lock on for some reason. And that's everything we need for that. Right. Plonk you down there for a second. Get rid of that. Let's see how well you walk with that great big thing sticking out the back. What's that golden finch? We have a polar white, blue-eyed mixed cat, deaf to boot. Oh, poor thing. His meowing translates to a screeching cry of abuse that sounds like he's praying for help from his own. Yeah, if he's deaf, he probably can't hear what he sounds like, so he just probably puts in maximum effort. Oh, poor little thing. He likes to think he's sneaky when you decide you're not in the mood for a needy and aggressively claiming roommate to invade and lay claim to your lap or chest about 8 hours a day. Yeah, that sounds like cats. I'm a massive goth, so I've got 2 black cats. They are a brother and sister pair that I got about 6 or 7 years ago now. They are inseparable. They come as a unit. Where there is one screwing around, you'll find the other screwing around. Right, there we go. Those hinges. They need more strength. 1 million ain't enough, apparently. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. 5 million's what it needs. Probably actually might need less than that, but we'll go with 5 for now. Oh yeah, look at all that weight on his back end. He is leaning right back now. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a bit more into the front end of this guy, I think. Let's have a look at his centre of mass. Where's that sitting? All the way back here. Yeah. That definitely needs some more weight up front. Look at that. It's almost sitting right on the back set of legs. But then again, that is 7 tons, 5.5 tons, another 7 tons, and another 7 tons. So what, 7, 14, 21, yeah, 26, 27-ish tons just on the back end. Sounds about right. And then the main body itself is... Where's the main grid? Yeah, 800 kilos. No? What? That can't be right. Is the back end way more than the front end? Oh, then again, I am going to add lots more armour to it. You know what, who cares? We'll figure it out. Right, so he's going to need way more weight up his front end to help balance that out a bit, but he can still walk. He can still move about, which is good. Ooh, yeah, going to need to put a few more gyroscopes in there as well. Yeah, he's a chunky boy now with that tail. Right. Ooh, you know what? Did I? No, I did not. Okay, ooh, let's get rid of that. Show centre of mass. Alright, so, cockpits. Right, might have to. I'm not going to get another battery in there, am I? No. Might have to do some readjusting with a few things. I might have to shift bunch of this stuff up the front. Because those gyros are chunky. Oh, in fact, actually, I do need to build more gyroscope control anyway. I'll worry about that next week. I want to try and get that tail gun working, at least a little bit. Where are my turret controllers? There they are. Right, so I'm sitting there. I'm gonna need... what do I need? I need... elbow, shoulder for the arms, tail gun. Elbow, shoulder, other tail gun. So that'll be 3 of them. They're nicely in line with the cockpit. That'll do for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What's that? Golden Finch. More. Oh, and God. Oh, missed a whole bunch of messages there. So when you set boundaries and send him off, he comes back prowling as if sneaking up to prey who sees him from a mile away. Typical. More batteries in the front. Yeah, Chad, I think that's what I'm going to have to do, is shift the batteries to the front end. And maybe add some heavy armour to the front to keep that protected a little bit better. Because yeah, that tail's adding a whole bunch of weight. What do I need? I need parts. I mean, I expected to add weight. I wasn't surprised by that. I'm surprised that it moved the centre of mass almost all the way to the back. Wasn't expecting it to be that heavy. Golden Finch, since you still need to greeble the top, you could use... Yeah, I could use batteries as part of it. They're always good to have. Yeah, I think I might stick a bunch, small batteries and a bunch of more gyros up the front end of this guy. Oh, that was the wrong one. There we go. We can just about catch that, so we don't fall directly out. And to be honest, with all the logic blocks and all these turret controllers, they do end up consuming quite a bit of power after a while. Like, it's not much, but I think it's like every event controller takes up like 500 watts or something, but when you're using like 40 of them on one build, that does start to add up pretty quickly. Right, that could be tail 01 for the moment. While we set up some basic stuff. You at the back, you can be tail number 2. Power we've got left on this. We've still got 6 hours of power and 81%. That is fine. Tail rotors. Number 2. Right, I want to take you off that. Let's... Oop, 50 million. That's too much. Right, if I give you, let's say, 15 degrees of motion either side, how far does that tip? Well, that shift the entire weight of the mech. Definitely need to make the body heavier. Yeah, that's fine. For now, we can make that move further if we need to. Right, so, tail controllers. That's not the right thing. I want... azimuth. Tail rotor number 1. Elevation. Tail hinge number 1. And camera, and you get to play with the assault cannon. You get to be azimuth tail number 2, wherever you're hiding. There you are. Elevation, tail hinge 2, you get the camera, but you don't get to play with the gun, because we don't need both of you fighting over it. Set you up first. So left and right is left and right, up and down, up and down. Lovely. Tail controller 2, 1 rather. Control that. Left and right, up and down. Marvellous. Tail 2. Control. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah, he's not too bad at walking, he's just got that little bit too much weight at the back end. But his actual walking's not been impeded too much by it, that's cool. Right, let's do a little bit of AI testing. So, if we set that to target friendlies, and just get it to target small ships for the minute. There we go, that's aiming at the little spider as he walks around, I think. Or I might be aiming at the skiff at the moment. I'll do the same with that. Friends, character stations, large ships, that. Nope, that was the wrong button. Tail control number 1, AI on. Go, so I was targeting one of the little robots, I think. Yeah, I think I want to change that. I don't want those tail hinges to come all the way down to flat, because that's begging to get smashed on the floor. Yeah, there we go. Right. Tail hinges, let's have you only retract back. Ah, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Tail hinges. In fact, let's increase your range a bit so you can aim a bit further down. I don't want them smashing into each other, that's fine. Yeah, but that kind of motion, that is begging to smash into the floor. So yeah, let's say lower limit 15 degrees, so you can't go any lower than that. A little bit better. Now, if I make the... Oop, that's not how you spell tail. If I set the hinges to 55 for the upper limit. Yeah, that's just about close enough that it's not going to scrub. Oh, it's still not aiming down enough. Then again, it's more of a long-range weapon. It's not really designed for taking out things that are that close, but it's targeting. It's all working quite well. And then if I take control of the main gun, the second controller on the bottom is also targeting that and acts as a little bit of aim assist. So if I aim away from it, the other rotor will try and get back in line again. There you go, that side to side motion, that's not me, that's the other set of rotors. Cool. I'm happy with that, that's all working quite well. Sniper tank, long range only. Yeah, well I was kind of designing it for that purpose anyway. The idea was to use the big tail gun to take out like the main defences on a base, like when they've got big rocket launchers or the big Gatling turrets or something. Have the big tail for doing that kind of stuff, taking out those defences long range, and then have some arm weapons up the front for smaller things, and I did want to put them on the front there, but these front arms, front legs are kind of getting in the way. So I need to reevaluate where I'm going to put the arms. I don't really want to put them underneath because I don't want anything to get in the way of the docking connector, because I'm going to try and build a docking system similar to the Stalker for this guy, so I need that space clear. So I'll have to reevaluate where I'm going to put the arms. I might even just do a bit of greebling and put them in the same place but a little bit higher up, maybe. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with that progress. That... Oof, I think that 15 degrees might even still be a little bit much. Ooh, yeah, look at all that weight trying to throw that back. Would you settle down, please, Tail? You're not going to shoot him anyway. He's inside a building. Yeah, definitely need to add more weight to the front, because currently the tail collectively can shift the weight of the entire mech. Right. Let's turn that AI off for a second. Let's reset that back to there. Actually, yeah, I don't really want that being able to aim any further forwards because he'll be able to shoot his own face if I do that. So, yeah, that angle will be alright, I reckon. Front, shoulder, hips, maybe. Oh, that might expose the front legs as targets. I mean, to be honest, the legs on these things are a huge, painful targets anyway, with all those subgrids. What's that? You don't often see a walking mech do a wheelie. No, you don't. Yeah, I definitely need to add more weight to the front of this dude. That tail is massively heavier than I was expecting it to be. Oh, there goes some meteors. Please don't hit my base. Yeah, I think moving the gyros and some batteries to the front will be a good idea. So yeah, I think I'll try and... yeah, I'll have to put all the weighty things in the front to counteract the tail. Adding some arms will also add a bit more counterbalance to that. And then I'll keep all the electronics and programmable things in the back to try and keep them safe. But yeah, batteries and gyros can definitely get shifted to the front end. They're not difficult to move or replace. Artificial mass blocks. Do they actually have an effect in gravity? I never really used them. Might be an idea. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that progress today. That's pretty good. As weighty as he is in the back end, he can still walk. Yeah, that's the issue. I've had people mention that before with mass issues, and they're good in space. I think they only work in space, and I think they only really interact with the grav gen blocks. Other than that, I don't think they do a thing on planet. Would you be quiet? Ha! That's what you get. Nice. Right, cool. Sweet. Oh. Get up there. Yeah, that's not too bad. Right, shifting that weight, that is a bit of an issue though, isn't it? The gyro overrides, they can be built anywhere. Would you stop glitching out on the floor? Back to wood building. Some blocks like that help with that. Right, wait. Extra weight. Right, I'm going to take that out of there. I'm also going to take that battery out completely. We can replace it when necessary. Sunroof gives you an opening overhead. Not sure what to call it when opening is in the floor. Ground roof? I don't know. Right, so spacing wise, you could put 2 batteries in there, but that doesn't really give me a whole lot of room to do what I wanted to do. That might not work. Yeah, and I haven't got space to do 2 batteries like that. Then again, this section here will essentially be a wall. I'm not going to be able to see through that, and I'm not going to build any further back than that door, so because I need to be able to get through it. I'm going to do 2 batteries like that, and it's still the same problem essentially. Space. Not enough space. Come out for a minute. What could I do? I think that's probably the better option to there. Oh, actually, I know what I can do. I've got an idea. So I need to get more gyro in here. Anyway. What we might do, alternate some stuff. Build it into that gap here. So it is still relatively balanced. Of course, I'm going to have to grind them out so I can get to that stuff, but I'm thinking maybe fill that little gap with gyros for the extra weight and control, and then I could potentially pop a rotor on there, surrounded by gyros, with another gyro on the end, and then I should have enough room to either make that a wall of blocks without scrubbing, or a wall of LCD monitors or something. And then that could be squeezed in a little bit because the rotor displacement. So that Yeah, that might work actually. That might be the one. Yeah, power cells. Ah, I can actually build that. Lovely. Ah, I can't build that. Need parts. Need cells, need cells. Oh, that's stuff in my face. Give me some more bits, please. Oh, sorry, Anderson man. Sorry, didn't see your messages there. What did I do to the poor scorpion's claws? I had to cut them off temporarily because they were getting in the way of the legs. They are going to get rebuilt. Just when I figured out some better spacing. Mass blocks do be heavy. Okay. In fact, let's have a little look. Mass blocks. What are you actually in terms of weight? Artificial weight. Oh, they do weigh 900 kilos each according to build info, so that is actually quite good for the size of them if that weighs almost a ton by itself. So that is definitely a potential idea for adding some counterweight. Even if it doesn't do the 2 tons that it does with the grab gen, 900 kilos on its own for a block that size is pretty good. So yeah, that might actually be a viable option. What was I doing? Trying to get back up there. There we go, that's the one. Right. Batteries up there. I'm have to recharge this guy eventually. What have we got here? So we were going to alternate them. So we're going to go with that side, that side, that side. Grab some bits. Eventually, let's have some food in the meantime. Let's also get rid of that trash. Cool. That should be all the bits. Right, and then, in theory, we can do... wait, we connected to that side last time, so we can do 1, 2 more gyros there, and there. I can find the right block and get a rotor in that gap. Where's the 0? Where's the 0? I'm going to grab some of those parts. Thank you. Oh. That's the one. Cool, right, that has spun around and out of place, so let's lock you back down again. 0, 0, let's put you back in the middle. There we go, lovely. OVR rotor. Number 1 in the middle. Not sure if adding torque to that even makes an effect really when using it like this, but I do it anyway. Then we can have gyro on the end of that. Obviously you need more bits for that one. Grab some more bits and pieces. Thank you. Right, weld that up. That gets to be override gyro, override controls on. He's not leaning back as horrendously as he was before. That centre of mass sitting slightly further forward than it was before. Okay, it's not right over the back set of legs like it was earlier, but yeah, definitely need to add a whole bunch more weight to the front. Maybe move all of the maybe just move those gyros and stick them on the front of this battery or something. Although I do want to leave a gap around that one, otherwise it'll scrub. Yeah, we'll work things out like that at some stage. Look at that little gap in there, that probably doesn't help. Damage block there. Yeah, when I add the arms back on, I want to figure out where the hell they're going. That'll add a whole bunch of extra weight. I might even make them a bit chunkier on purpose just to add some more mass to the front, and then there's a whole bunch of control blocks that are going to go in here eventually. That'll add more weight. And then yeah, maybe tuck in a bunch of mass blocks. Oh, there's a gap there. Potentially put more gyroscopes on that, to be honest. That might help. Yeah, he's still leaning a bit, but not as badly as he was. Oh yeah, I need to move that thruster as well, because that's now dusting off the back end of the tail. I don't like that. That absolutely needs moving. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress I've made on this dude today. Tail seems to work okay-ish. Needs a little bit more tweaking, but it's not too bad. Pretty good at tracking targets from the look of it. You know what I might do? Mitigate that a little bit. Tail elevation. Let's turn that down. In fact, let's turn all of it down so it's not moving quite as aggressively. That's a little bit more sensible. Yeah, and then, like I was saying, I was thinking of working on a variable speed kind of system for this guy, so I can make him walk quickly and walk slowly. Because this is a good pace for, like, a docking system, but for active combat stuff, it's not really the best. But we do also have the drive control system. so he can drive around instead. That's probably what I'll end up using in combat more often. That's still working okay. Oh yeah, I also needed to build a steering system, didn't I, for those wheels, because I want them to be able to strafe left and right. Yeah, we'll have to do that at some stage as well. Yeah, that's not too bad. Right, that has been over 4 hours now, so I'm going to wrap this stream up here for this week. But yeah, that's some pretty good progress. I'm quite happy with it. Quite happy the way it looks, quite happy with the way it is working right now. Just need to do a little bit more tweaking on it. I also need to figure out where those arms are going to go, so we will do that next week. And I'll also figure that out by next week. So yeah, I'm going to leave this stream here for now, because I need to go and do other things. Namely, go into bed, because I'm tired and still not very well. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting and all of your suggestions and input and feedback and things. I'm hopefully going to be a little bit better this week, so I should continue on with my new Space Engineer 2 playthrough. I wanted to do it this week, but I just didn't have the energy or the time to fit it in. But yeah, I should be back on Wednesday for more Space Engineers 2. I will be back next Sunday for more of this nonsense and building this ridiculous contraption, which I think is now probably going to get in the way of the Stalker. And yeah, I'll also be working on the next episode of Alien Survival at some point soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for all those notifications. Like the stream if you haven't already. It helps with all the algorithm nonsense that is a nightmare to navigate. And yeah, I will see you all next time for some more mech building stupidity. So yeah, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.